What if the next major beauty breakthrough in the US doesn't come from a Hollywood endorsement, but from a global pop icon fans already trust with their identity, style, and everyday choices? Because right now, something very specific is unfolding around Lador, and Jungkook's name is suddenly impossible to ignore. At first glance, it sounds like just another industry rumor, a brand riding momentum, a superstar name being floated. But when you look closer at the timing, the market signals, and especially the way fans in the US are responding, this starts to feel far more calculated than coincidence, almost like the next move was planned long before the public noticed anything at all. Lador is no longer operating as a quiet professional hair care brand from South Korea. That phase ended the moment Jimin stepped into the picture. When Lador announced Jimin as its international brand ambassador, the shift was immediate and measurable. Searches surged. Social media mentions multiplied. Beauty communities that had never discussed Lador before suddenly knew the name, and more importantly, associated it with emotion. Jimin didn't just introduce Lador to a global audience, he reframed it. In the US market, awareness is the hardest wall to break. Consumers are surrounded by options. Shelves are full, feeds are endless. Before people even consider trying a product, they need to recognize it, trust it, and feel something about it. Jimin's presence did exactly that. His image brought elegance, sensitivity, and artistic credibility. Lador became aspirational. It became emotional. For many fans, especially Jungkook fans in the US, Lador stopped being a Korean hair care brand and started being the brand Jimin uses. And that distinction matters more than it seems. Because awareness is not the same as consumption. And this is where the story gets interesting. Jimin's role positioned Lador beautifully at the top of the funnel: visibility, prestige, emotional attachment. But when a brand wants to move from recognition to routine, from "I know it" to "I buy it regularly," the strategy has to evolve. The messaging has to shift from elegance to everyday life, from admiration to relatability. That's where Jungkook enters the conversation. In the US, Jungkook is perceived differently. Not better, not worse, but differently. He is widely seen as a relatable global icon, someone impossibly talented yet grounded, someone who feels close, real, human. Fans don't just admire Jungkook, they project themselves onto him. This is critical for brand penetration in Western markets. American consumers respond strongly to authenticity. They want to see products integrated into real routines, not just elevated moments. Jungkook's image aligns perfectly with that psychology. He represents effort, growth, discipline, and self-care without excess. When Jungkook endorses something, fans don't read it as luxury distance, they read it as usability. And that's why the rumor about Lador potentially contracting Jungkook feels strategically logical rather than surprising. If Jimin opened awareness, Jungkook expands consumption. Think about how fans talk about Jungkook in the US. He's often described as someone like us, just extraordinary. He trains hard, he practices endlessly, he takes care of himself not for glamour, but for performance and longevity. Hair care, in that context, becomes functional, not just aesthetic. It's about maintenance, about health, about consistency. For a professional hair care brand like Lador, that narrative is gold. Lador has always positioned itself as salon-level care, not quick-fix beauty. Their products emphasize treatment, repair, and routine. Jungkook's personal brand mirrors that philosophy almost perfectly. He is not about shortcuts, he is about process. And US fans notice this alignment instantly. Online discussions already reflect it. Fans speculate not just about whether Jungkook would join Lador, but why it would make sense. They imagine him using the products post-practice, after tours, during long schedules. They don't just picture a photo shoot, they picture a routine. That's the difference between awareness marketing and consumption marketing. Jimin made Lador aspirational. Jungkook could make it habitual. From a brand expansion perspective, this is exactly how global penetration works.
First, you establish emotional credibility through a figure associated with artistry and refinement. Then, you reinforce daily relevance through someone associated with discipline, relatability, and trust. The two roles don't compete, they complete each other. And this is where Jungkook as a combined cultural force becomes incredibly powerful, even without explicit pairing. Fans in the US don't separate Jimin and Jungkook into isolated brand meanings. They understand their contrast and connection intuitively. Jimin represents expression and elegance. Jungkook represents strength and consistency. Together, they cover both the emotional and practical spectrum of consumer decision-making. From Lador's perspective, that's not just endorsement, that's ecosystem building. It also explains why the rumor is gaining traction now, not earlier. The brand needed proof first. Proof that Jimin could carry international visibility. Proof that the Western market would respond. Proof that the BTS association wasn't just hype, but conversion potential. That proof now exists. Sales data might not be public, but behavior is. Increased shelf presence, more English language marketing, stronger North American distribution focus. These are not moves a brand makes without confidence. Adding Jungkook at this stage would signal a shift from introduction to expansion, and US fans are already primed for it. They see Jungkook not as a distant celebrity, but as someone whose choices feel accessible. When he drinks something, wears something, or uses something, fans don't just admire it, they consider trying it. That psychological bridge is incredibly difficult to build artificially. Jungkook already has it. That's why this rumor feels different from typical endorsement speculation. It's not just, would Jungkook fit Lador? It's, is Jungkook exactly what Lador needs next? For a Korean professional haircare brand aiming to deepen its roots in the US, moving from awareness to normalized use is the hardest step. Jungkook's image lowers that barrier. He makes professional care feel normal, necessary, worth the effort. And as fans continue to connect the dots, Jimin's elegance setting the tone, Jungkook's relatability extending the reach, the narrative starts to feel less like gossip and more like strategy unfolding in real time. Something is clearly shifting. And the question isn't just whether Jungkook will join Lador, it's what happens to the US market if he does. When you step back and look at the full picture, the logic becomes hard to ignore. Lador didn't just stumble into global attention, it built it step by step. Jimin's presence gave the brand meaning, emotion, and prestige. He made people stop scrolling. He made them curious. He made them care. That was the breakthrough moment. But curiosity alone doesn't sustain a brand in the US. Sustained growth comes when a product moves from admiration into routine, when it stops being something fans talk about online and starts being something they actually keep in their bathroom. That transition requires trust, relatability, and a figure who feels woven into everyday life rather than placed on a pedestal. That's why Jungkook feels like a natural next-level move. In the US, Jungkook represents balance, global success without losing humility, excellence without distance. He is aspirational, but not untouchable. And for Western consumers, especially younger audiences, that balance is exactly what drives purchase behavior. They don't just want to know a product is premium, they want to believe it fits into a real lifestyle. If Jimin made Lador visible, Jungkook has the power to make it familiar. Together, intentionally or not, they create a complete brand story. One opens the door emotionally, the other invites people to stay. That's not redundancy, that's scale. That's how a professional Korean haircare brand stops being international and starts becoming mainstream in the US. So when fans hear this rumor, it resonates because it aligns with everything they already see. The timing, the market signals, the way Lador's messaging is evolving, the way Jungkook's image continues to center growth, care, and consistency. None of it feels forced. It feels like the next chapter. And now, the question shifts. Not just, is this possible, but how big could this become if it happens? Because if Jungkook does step into this role, it won't just be another endorsement. It will be Lador saying clearly, we're not just here to be noticed, we're here to be used. And that's where the real impact begins. If you're a Jungkook fan in the US, this moment is worth watching closely. The brand world is changing, and Jimin and Jungkook are influencing it in very different but equally powerful ways. Let us know what you think. Does Jungkook feel like the right move for Lador's next stage in the US? Would his presence change how you see or use the brand? Share your thoughts, join the conversation, and don't forget to stay tuned, because if this rumor turns into reality, it could redefine how global K-pop influence shapes Western beauty markets.